Back when I did my video about freezing the Anaheim peppers, people asked me about the chili recipe that we use. So I'm making a batch now, and I thought I'd, share the recipe while I was doing it. So basically, we always start out with the dried kidney beans, and we just get them in bulk at our local Amish store. And for the recipe, I just use 1 pound of the dried beans. Just kind of weigh them out. It doesn't have to be exact, but it should be pretty close to make it come out with a good mixture. And then we use a pressure cooker to cook these beans up. And you add the water to the pressure cooker, and then you add the beans in, and then you put the top on, and start heating it up. Put a fire underneath it, and get it so it's steaming. And in the meantime, I take one fairly large cooking onion, and I'll take that and I coarsely slice that up and chop it up a little bit. It doesn't have to be fancy or anything. I just kind of hack at it. It takes just about an hour from the time I get started and get the pressure cooker going and stuff until the chili's cooked up, but not quite ready to eat yet. So then I take out a bag of those Anaheim chili peppers that I froze, and while they're still frozen, I just do the same thing to them, just kind of slice them up and chop them up. I find out that it's easiest to do if you just take them right out of the freezer and slice them right like that when they're still frozen. Makes them a lot easier to handle than trying to defrost them first. So these chili peppers actually add a lot of flavor to it. They really do give a good flavor, and they do add a little bit of heat to it too. So depending on how spicy you want it, you may not need a lot of extra hot pepper or anything in it. So basically they get sliced up, and you just put them in the cup with the onions, and then you can see the steam started coming out of the canner, so I put that little rocker on it, and a couple of seconds later you can see the lock has kicked up, and so now you just have to give it a little while to get the that rocker rocking. And then I start with a pound of hamburger meat. We usually just buy it in bulk at Costco and break it up into 1 pound packages with the food saver. So I just put a little olive oil in the bottom of a pan and get that, starting to brown up a little bit and cooked up while the pressure cooker's still coming up to temperature. And there it goes. It's just, starting to rock now. So it's basically time to take and start timing it. We found that with our pressure cooker, it takes about 22 minutes to get the beans just right. Some of the smaller ones will come out with a real creamy texture flavor, and some of the other ones will still be just perfectly cooked. And then once the meat's a little bit browned up, I just add in the onions and the peppers. Stir that up a little bit, and add a little bit of salt and pepper to it at this point. I don't put too much in yet, and then I have to put some chili powder in. I like to just take and mix in about a tablespoonful of chili powder to start out with while the meat and peppers and onions are cooking. So give that a good stir, and meanwhile, just keep an eye on the pot that the pressure canner is still, it's always rocking and not rocking too fast. And luckily, we still have tomatoes left from last year, seeing how we lost all ours this year. So I take and I dump a jar of tomatoes in there, juice and all. Really good flavor because we have a lot of the dark tomatoes that we can. So I just, put them in there and chop them up a little bit and mix them in, and, basically just let that simmer together for a little while. And so there it is. The time's up on the timer now, so what you have to do is just turn off the heat underneath the pressure canner, and then just move it over to a cool burner and let it cool down before you try to do anything with it. The top will just about stop rocking just about immediately after you turn the flame off, and there you can see, but it's still dangerous. You can't really do anything with the canner at this point until you see that little lock pin drop down. Then it's safe to remove the lid and open the pot up and drain it. Now, over the years, we tried making it with like canned beans, and we tried, soaking them overnight and boiling them up and stuff. But the little pressure canner actually makes the best chili in my mind. You get some of the big beans that still stay nice and firm, and some of the small ones actually turn into like a real creamy paste that gives it a real nice texture. So once those are drained, just a matter of putting them in the big Dutch oven there with the rest of everything that's been kind of simmering away, and mix that all in and get that mixed up good. So now at this point I'm going to add a couple more tablespoons full of chili powder. I'll usually just start by throwing like an additional 3 in there and mixing it up and giving it a little while, and then tasting it again and see if it needs more. It's all according to your taste, how much flavor you want. So you add what you want. You can also add some hot pepper too at this point if you want a little bit fierier, but and a little bit of salt and pepper also goes in there. So then I just kind of mix that up and put everything away and start cleaning up and just let that simmer for another hour or so, and there it is. It's starting to get thickened up now, and I just leave the top flipped a little bit so it can evaporate a little bit, and there it is, just about ready to eat now. Like I said, it takes a little bit over an hour to make it, but it's a real quick meal, and it's great for this kind of cold weather that we've been having. And there's some shredded cheddar and a fresh cornbread out of the oven that we're going to have with it. So I like to just put a little bit in a bowl, and I'll sprinkle some of the cheddar on it, and that'll actually melt in and get mixed in so you won't even see it in a while. And have that with a nice slice of cornbread. And then the wife baked a couple of apples just to go with it to have for dessert at the end. So I just, thought I'd share this, and it's a very, very simple recipe. It's, we don't make it too spicy because we're getting old now, and we like to have it with some, nice hot cornbread out of the oven, and it's just one of those recipes that, we like to whip up on a nice cold day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.